Welcome back to Nicholas Comic Corner Classic, Lesson Known Classic. This is episode number 1473 and Doubleshot number, excuse me, 1367. Yep, that's pretty much what this episode is going to be. Yep. This one surprisingly does not have a Valiant trait. Yeah, this is the first one, probably probably a little over 10 episodes, where because lately I've been viewing a lot of Valiant trades. This is the first one in a while where there are no Valiant trades because officially I am out of Valiant trades. Yep. So this one, let's do two full Masterworks. This one does have a Masterworks from my last one I have right now. First, let's talk about the one book I own. This is not a Valiant book. This is Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 2. Here we make our stand. This collects Guardians of the Galaxy Volume... trying to think. 3, 4, 5. I think this is volume 6, if not mistaken. Yeah, because volume 2 was the start of this run. 3 and 4 were the end of this run. 5 was on color. This is probably volume 6. This collects issues 6 to 12 of Al Ewing's, of this volume of the book, and of course Al Ewing is the writer. Now, some of these issues are simply put alive set for the King in Black crossover. The very first issue is revealing that apparently Marvel Boy has started a sexual relationship with Hercules. Yes, and this is the same Hercules that Stan Lee and Jack Kirby created, who is back being bisexual again. Yep. Despite the fact other writers simply ignored that particular thing, which was revealed in Hercules Fallen Avenger, that Hercules had one night stand with North Star. And apparently other writers just simply retconned that, and apparently Al Ewing just put it back in because we have North Star in a homosexual relationship with Hercules. It's basically one of the big things about the issue. Yep. We also have the issue 6 we focused on Nova, where he basically has a talk with Gamora. Well, this is of course a flashback talking with look like a psychiatrist. And he talks basically with Gamora and about exactly what happened with him, and basically, her finding out that, the Richard Red had a thing for her, and of course he loved Peter too, because he was like a brother to him. He's like, yes, I know, that makes all this worse. And she goes off, and she's not sitting it into the final issue of this run, into the final issue of this trade. Yeah, she's absent for the next 2 issues. And meanwhile, though, we finally see Peter Quill back. Yep, Peter Quill. Yeah, it's, I believe in issue 8, issue 8 they reveal this. But because issue 7 is an Empire Aftermath issue. Now, yes, I do agree with the opinion that, okay, why would you have an Empire Aftermath issue for Guardians of the Galaxy even though the book had no tie into it at all? Because it's space. You gotta have something to deal with it. So, we have, it mostly goes on Nova into the final page, where Nova's meeting with the Galactic Council, a smaller version of them, at this under construction space station. So they decided to, formalize a new peace treaty. And then we have murder happen. Yep, a whodunit. And so Nova's like, okay, according to the peace treaty, which we just ratified again, that this is under my jurisdiction. He's like, okay, but you are biased basically as a Marvel Boy. Well, I decided to call some investigators to this. Who do you call? The Guardians of the Galaxy. And I thought this was so funny. Gus is the Guardians of the Galaxy. And pretty much so they investigate over the course of the next issue. This, of course, is issue 8. And they find out who the killer is. It's the Shatari guy. The Peacekeeper. He's the one who killed this guy. The one who got killed. Yep, and he gets arrested for what he did. And then in issue number 10, we figure out exactly, we have a story focused on Peter Quill. Excuse me. Or he's alive and he spends time with a husband and wife do and become part of their relationship. Yeah, he becomes part of a harem. Well, a harem where it's 2 guys and a woman. And it kind of notes Peter Quill is bisexual because she ends up pregnant, presumably both his child and the child also belongs to the other guy. The child still doesn't make an appearance on panel, though he basically later, because of deal with the return of the Olympians, the Olympian gods. Yeah, they basically make returns. So he has to make returns to the universe. By the way, he does not wear this attire he does on the cover. Nope. And here's the cover for that. Yeah, they use this for Star-Lord. So he comes back and he dresses like this. Yep. And we turn to the next issue and we have like issue 10, where it's just pure sit-up for, well, this whole issue is sort of in the way issues 10 through 12 are certain simply stuff that leads up into King in Black. Yeah, it involves the Guardians of the Galaxy taking on some other symbiotes. So yeah, it's also revealed that apparently Peter Quill's element guns are a lot more powerful than they once were. Yep. So Cole's in these issues, but he doesn't do much of anything. So they battle these symbiotes. And then, of course, they're able to return to the Olympians. Which, the cover for the trade is actually from issue 11. Yep. Yeah, so the deal with the return to the Olympian gods. Well, the Greek gods. So there's a meditating and, of course, well, stuff with Cyville and Moondragon. And of course, next couple issues they will return to the Olympian gods, which they do with by issue 12. Yep, that storyline is complete right up issue 12, where the Olympians are completely taken care of. And, well, we have a fleet on standby, just in case. So, and they jump ahead 3 months later, presumably after the King in Black, where apparently the economy is in free fall, so they can't exactly fund a new Nova Corps. So make the Guardians of the Galaxy the official police force of the galaxy. Yep. And I think with the exception of Nova, everybody gets brand new tires. Well, actually, Nova does get a new look. Yeah, everybody gets these spiffy new jackets. And yeah, this becomes kind of in the way to replace them for the Nova Corps. And, well, the next one is called Liftoff. Yeah, this, of course, is really good. And I give this book roughly a 9.5 out of 10. Really good. I should point out that the artwork in here for the first 3 issues are done by Marco Terry, issue 6 through 8, 9 through 12 is by Juan Cabal. Yep. The cover artists are Rafa Albuquerque. Yep. This, of course, is really good. Oh, yeah, Peter Quill, because he came back as there for like a century, apparently he didn't age for some reason. Yeah. Oh, yeah, he's got a full beard now. But that's how Ewing did with him. So he apparently kills him off and then brings him back. I mean, he wasn't dead for very long. He was only dead for, I'd say just for a few issues. I'm surprised they brought him back. Well, at least they're really he's alive. Alright, next up is Marvel Masterworks Amazing Spider-Man Volume 2. This one is the last one I'm going to review for a while because there's no more trades in the library to review for more Masterworks Spider-Man. Now, this book collects issues 11 to 19 and A number 1 Amazing Spider-Man. First up, we have a two-parter for 11 and 12, dealing with the return of Dr. Octopus, where issue 11, yes, issue 11, where we introduced to a brief appearance in this issue by Betty Brant's brother, Bennett Brant, and he dies, apparently after being shot by some gangsters. And of course, Betty Brant blames Spider-Man for his death. She hates him. But here's the thing. You probably will think that's the only appearance of Betty Brant's brother. For a long time, this was the case. That wasn't until he popped up in Rick Remender's Venom series, where it revealed that he was actually alive. I will probably discuss that when I get a chance to talk about more about Rick Remender's Venom run, because that was kind of weird. Yeah, Rick Remender recounted the death of a supporting character from the 60s. I'm sure Lee had no plans to bring it back. Just bring him, I killed him off this one issue. By the way, the gangster appearance in this issue, yeah, this actually is his only appearance to date. I think his name's Blackie Gleason. Yeah, this actually is his only appearance to date. And yeah, first time he's actually, you have a one-shot character, this gangster, and he appears for one issue, and that's it. Issue 12 involves Spider-Man being unmasked by Dr. Octopus. Though they wrote it off the fact he was simply dressed up as Spider-Man. That was actually the first time he got unmasked. Issue 13 and 14. These two are quite interesting. 13 is the debut of Mysterio. And the premise of this issue is the same exact thing that he used for an episode as part of the animated series involving his debut, which I think in the series was actually back in episode 2. Yeah, that's the debut of Mysterio, where he pretty much has a Spider-Man robbing banks, and where Spider-Man robs banks turns out just an illusion by Mysterio. But yeah, and 14 is the return of the Enforcers. They say it's been months. It's only been just a few issues since their last appearance. Yeah, the Enforcers were released, and they team up with the debuting Green Goblin. Yep, 14 is the debut of the Green Goblin. And here's the fun fact that comes to this issue. Before I originally read the issue, initially in here and some other books, I actually read this book. This issue was actually adapted for a children's book I read years ago. Bob like a little noisemaker. Yes. And here's the strange thing, though, about this issue. Like, okay, well, they're on set basically for this movie. Apparently, Spider-Man runs into the Hulk. Let's see if we can find it. Yeah, because I remember he runs into the freaking Hulk of all people. Yes, the Hulk. Like he just goes into a cave and look, there's the Hulk. Yep. And he's like, Super Rebby. Like, he turns like, holy Hannah, of all caves to pick a fight for a fight. We have to pick one the Hulk is hiding in. This is the first time Simon has met the Hulk. Which I thought was so cool. Yep, and then of course he has a fight with the Hulk. He doesn't fight the Hulk again until many years later, until like a decade later. And of course Spider-Man fights Green Goblin, he gets away. So he unmasks. Don't see who it is because it's a hint for a plot thread later. 15 is the debut of Kraven the Hunter. Yes, and he's here with the Chameleon, which they reveal years later was actually his half-brother. And what's his thing? He wants to capture Spider-Man. He wants his master as a trophy. Yeah, it's a typical spiel when it comes to Kraven the Hunter. This was actually his main thing for years, until his death in the late 1980s in the critically acclaimed Kraven's Last Hunt storyline. Yep, and immediately after that, of course, they put it in here too, and Essential Book basically did it too. We're like, right after Kraven's debut, we had the very first annual for Amazing Spider-Man, where it features the debut of the Sinister Six. And everybody's looking for Spider-Man because these two guys apparently kidnapped Betty Brant, who was dating Peter Parker at that point, and May Parker. Yeah, this particular thing did have the first time the Doctor was met May Parker, and occasional meetings here and there, leading up to what happened the Jerry Conway run, where he attempted to marry May Parker in order to get her power plant. Yeah, somehow she inherited the power plant. I thought that was kind of weird. I'll discuss on the Jerry Conway's run. The annual itself is a classic story, and right after the Sinister Six are defeated, it's like next time it's like, and they're like, nah, we're not gonna take orders from you again. And that's indeed true because the next time the Sinister Six will not reappear until Amazing Spider-Man number 334. Yes, over 20 years later, we had a return of the Sinister Six. It was the first year of the gathering of this many amount of villains. Now, from what I read initially, that they were going to contact like the Lizard, Dr. Doom, and Green Goblin. Lizard could not be trusted, and they apparently couldn't get in contact with either Dr. Doom or Green Goblin. Green Goblin was supposed to be associated with the Sinister Six in the 2000s with the Sinister 12 storyline. Yep. Issue 16, not exactly a first appearance of a character, mainly a first meeting, because this issue has Spider-Man meeting Daredevil. And I do get my friend Edgar about this issue. Whether this issue is a clear advertisement for the Daredevil comic book. It's true because we have appearance by Karen Page and Foggy Nelson. Excuse me. And of course, Spider-Man is taking on the Circus of Crime. First time we took them on, and their last appearance just prior to this issue was actually in the final issue of The Incredible Hulk. They appeared there, they appeared this issue, another issue was an Spider-Man, and then later on they appeared in the first issue of Avengers. Yep. So yeah, two issues in this trade where you have Star meeting an actual regular superhero. Hulk, basically, he's not going to be friends with Hulk. He doesn't know him. He becomes very good friends with Daredevil years later. Issue 17, Return of the Green Goblin, and stuff with the Human Torch. 18 and 19 is a two-parter where Spider-Man has temporarily give up being Spider-Man for a couple issues, though he later returns. Though we have in this two-part, we return to the Enforcers and the Sandman, who apparently Sandman has become their leader for some reason, and of course he gets beaten by Spider-Man, just of course due to renewed faith and renewed confidence in himself, because May Parker is basically back being well again. Yeah, and this also is the last trade I'm going to review. It has Steve Ditko's issues for Amazing Experiment. Why? Because he left for issue 38. So, my final thoughts, Steve Ditko's time as an artist for this book, it's really good. I love his work for the book. But we're not done with Stan Lee's run yet. Not for a long while. I give this book a 10 out of 10. It's a pure classic trade. And, well, it depends on whenever I get hands on another Marvel Masterworks. But that's the last one I have right now. So, it won't be one for quite a while. So, yeah. So, that's it for Particular Review. Next one's going to be 2 DC trades. Yep. See you in the next video. Bye.